This week in synagogue, we're reading Parshat Tzav, which continues with a sometimes gory description of the sacrifices. And I think to really understand the sacrificial system, you have to know the Hebrew word for sacrifice, which is korban. That word comes from the Hebrew root karov, meaning to become close to God. So the sacrifices are not so much about giving up something of value to God as they were about creating a holy mechanism to enable the people to become closer to God. And we see that in a special task that the Kohen would do every morning. He had to clean off all of the ashes from the previous day's offerings in order to keep the Mizbeach ready, the altar ready to go for the next day. And in removing the trash, which was basically what this was, it was such a sacred task that he had to wear special garments to do it. And I think the reason why this task is seen as so sacred is because when you're cleaning away all the previous day's ashes, the Kohen was symbolically cleaning away all of the people's previous day's prayers, their sin and guilt offerings, their thanksgiving offerings, all of their hopes and all of their fears, in order to get ready for the current day hopes and prayers of the people. So a major part of the Kohen's duty is to clean it off and to keep the fire burning. The Torah says that there has to be a flame on the altar all the time. Why is that? Because if somebody new came in to make an offering, you didn't want them to have to wait around. The Kohen had to be ready to go to accept these offerings. We have a rabbinic concept known as tircha de tzibur. We don't want to unduly tax the congregation. That's why we always roll the Torah in advance. We don't want to be busy rolling Torah or preparing while the service is going on. We want to minimize the strain on the congregation. So one of the things, though, that I think is so powerful in this image of the Kohen's most important job, keeping the fire burning and ready all the time, is that is what we are all doing today in the age of the coronavirus. We're trying to keep the fire going. As rabbis, we're coming up with new ways to engage with our kihila, our community and congregation. And I know you're doing the same thing with your families, with your jobs, trying to just keep that fire burning. So we're all in it together. We're all doing this sacred task, keeping the flame alive. And God willing, we'll all be able to keep doing it as long as it's necessary to do so. Shabbat Shalom.